If you have even spent 5 minutes on social media lately, you have probably seen her face, but what you might not know is behind the flawless visuals lies one of the most unbreakable mindsets in the entire entertainment industry. While the rest of the world is caught up in an endless cycle of comparing themselves to others, trying to copy trends, and losing their minds over what strangers think, a 21-year-old K-pop sensation is quietly mastering life using a simple five-word rule. It is called the You Are You, I Am Me philosophy, and it is the exact mental framework that took her from a heavily criticized teenager to an unstoppable, self assured, confident icon. This is not your typical generic just love yourself advice. It's a bulletproof psychological shield that will completely change how you view validation, competition, and your own self worth the second you actually understand how to apply it. For those of you who might be new to this side of the internet, let us introduce the girl behind the phenomenon, Jang Won-young. She is currently a member of the ultra popular K-pop girl group IVE, a global fashion ambassador for multiple luxury fashion houses, and essentially the definition of it girl of her generation. But her journey did not start with effortless luxury. She was thrust into the brutal, unforgiving spotlight of the entertainment industry at an incredibly young age. When she was just 14 years old, she competed on the survival reality show Produce 48, enduring months of intense pressure, exhausting training schedules, and constant public evaluation. Against all odds, she won the entire competition, securing the coveted center position in the temporary group Eyes One. Imagine being 14 and having millions of people dissecting your dance moves, your vocals, your visuals, and your expressions before you even have a chance to figure out who you are as a person. Most people would crumble under that level of stress and scrutiny, but Wonyoung did something entirely different by developing a philosophy that she summarized in a casual interview as simply, You are you and I am me.
어떤 말을 들어도 no problem. I don't care. You are you, I'm me.
At first glance, it sounds incredibly straightforward, almost too simple to be revolutionary, but when you break it down psychologically, it is an absolute masterclass in emotional boundaries. The core of this mindset is the complete and total refusal to participate in social comparison. Human beings are practically hardwired to look at someone else's success, beauty, or lifestyle and instantly measure themselves against it, which almost always results in feeling either insecure or falsely superior. Wonyoung completely detaches herself from this toxic game by recognizing that another person's traits, opinions, or achievements have absolutely zero impact on her own intrinsic value. You are you and I am me. This means another person's beauty does not diminish your own, and their success does not mean you are failing. When she says you are you, she is acknowledging that the world is filled with different people who possess unique parts, opinions, and flaws, and she gracefully allows them to exist in their own lane without trying to change them or win their approval. She accepts that people will project their own insecurities onto her, leave hateful comments, or misunderstand her actions because she fundamentally realizes that their reactions are a reflection of their reality, not hers. This is exactly where the first major lesson comes into play for your own everyday life, which is the practice of building an impenetrable filter for outside opinions. When someone criticizes your path, judges your lifestyle, and tells you that your goals are unrealistic, you need to mentally repeat the phrase, that belongs to them, not to me. You must learn to distinguish between constructive feedback from people who genuinely care about your growth and empty noise from people who are just projecting their own insecurities and limitations onto you. The moment you stop taking other people's negative energy personally is the exact moment you reclaim your absolute power over your emotional state. This leads directly into the second half of her equation, I am me, which is a declaration of absolute, immovable self possession. It means stepping entirely out of the comparison trap, choosing to stand firmly in your own identity, and protecting your peace like an elite security guard. Wonyoung treats her mind like a high-end luxury brand that does not adjust its prices or its styles just because a critic complains about it. In an industry where young idols are constantly pressured to bend, mold, and change their personalities to please every single demographic, she remains entirely consistent and grounded in her own reality. She is fully aware of her strengths and completely at peace with her journey and utterly indifferent to the noise outside her immediate circle. The practical lesson you can take from this specific side of her mindset is to practice radical acceptance of other people's lanes so you can stop wasting your valuable time and energy on jealousy. When you see a classmate getting higher marks, a competitor making more sales, or a peer living what looks like a flawless lifestyle online, do not let it trigger a spiral of self doubt. Instead, consciously say to yourself, good for them, they are doing their thing and I'm doing mine. Their success is not a threat to your timeline. True self worth is not about winning a competition against the world, but rather about completely removing yourself from the competition altogether and realizing that your only true standard is the person you were yesterday. You have to become your own ultimate fan, your own strictest critic, and your own primary source of confirmation. At the end of the day, the world will always try to tell you who you should be, how you should act, and what you need to change to fit in. But true iconic status belongs exclusively to the people who are brave enough to look at all that chaotic outside noise, smile calmly, and choose themselves anyway. Start treating your mind like the sacred high value space it deserves to be, step completely out of everyone else's lane, and start living by the rule that changes everything. You are you, they are them, but most importantly, you are exactly who you need to be.